He sent me this video with this dude saying that the girl in Big Poppa and the girl in the Craig Mack video, the remix with LL Cool J, and he's like, juicy, delicious, was a trans woman, they're saying.
Okay, so they were early on that.
You go and you look at the Big Poppa video. The lead woman or the lead guy in that is a transgender. Why is the lead person out of all the bad in New York City back then, even the women in the video, why was the lead a transgender? Why was there, you remember the scene in the bathroom? Why was there a transgender person in the bathroom with the and the guy? Now look at the girl, go to the scene when Buster's talking to her at the bar, and Big walk up and move in there, and then, or when she say true, stop it right there and look at the knot in her throat.
Gonna do what we came to do, ain't that right, boo? Forget the telly, we just go to the...
Her name is Shamika. She was from Queens and she got killed because she was dating her, didn't know it was a man, and went to have sex with her and found out she was a man, and she's dead, and he's in jail.
Is the internet saying it? So you gotta be careful. That's why I want to look into it a little more.
No, they had that spread in the source back in the day. That was a special issue.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That was the there was the 5 mics and there was the 5 dicks section.
5 dick section,
Yeah,
big time,
yeah,
big
yeah.
in the 90s. The hip hop Bible
Yeah.
is full of a lot of begot by T-dogs.
Yeah, Mr. C got caught so many times. He was like, hey, fuck it. I like trans women. What do you want me to tell you?
He set the trends, dude. He's getting a pat on the back now. He got shamed. He got shamed by the black community for a long time.
I'm wondering, because if she turns out to be a trans woman in the Biggie video and Big Poppa and all that shit, you know what I mean? Like all the puffy shit just continues to add up even more. And like the rumors back in the day when there was supposedly a VHS tape with Biggie and Puffy. That was like the big thing in the 90s in New York. They always said there was a VHS tape with, I'm not sure if it was Diddy blowing Biggie or Biggie blowing Diddy, but that was like a big thing in New York.
Which one's better? Which one did you rank them in your head? You go, would you rather not see Biggie giving it, right? Because that, it would kind of bring, if you're a Biggie fan, it'll bring him down a notch, right? But you can kind of argue the opposite way if it's or a Puffy's blowing him.
Well, I listen, if you're a fan of Biggie and that type of shit bothers you, obviously you'd rather him be catching it, you know what I mean, than giving it, you know what I mean? I think that would be the pick for any. But if you hate Biggie, right? If you're a Tupac guy, you know what I mean? Then you want Biggie. Then you want Biggie slobbing down Diddy.
You want Biggie to be you want Biggie to be taking it, not giving it ever. Like you're crossing your fingers. You're like, please, I hope that tape that you got your fingers crossed when they're about to do the big reveal.
Yeah.
They're going to have a reveal party of what the tape is.
You think they had a viewing? They had a viewing back in the day?
They're going to have a viewing, and it's going to be 1, seeing Biggie take it, and then 2, the funeral of him being ranked, above Pac. They're going to have to just give it to Pac with an asterisk. It'll be an asterisk.
Biggie's out the top 5 if that was a transsexual.
It'll be like Big Poppa. It'll be like Barry Bonds with the asterisk next to his name.
Yeah,
would be number 1,
but it's just a little dick instead of an asterisk. It's just a little.
It's 5, 6 dicks going.
Cross it. Yeah, it was on a couple sites, but they weren't the best sites.
Only
you know what I mean? No, it's just like that weird shit. You know what I mean? Them dudes that want to expose rappers type of sites.
Oh, it's like
the main girl. It's the main chick.
Never give
what's
his
your name?
money?
What's your size? What kind of dick you got between your thighs? Maybe that was the other bars.
Light skin. Light skin, kind of light.
Nah, you'll see. Not light skin.
Is she light skin at all?
Nah, she was like medium complexion.
Not caramel.
I mean?
Was it a caramel?
No, she wasn't caramel. No. You were just so effed up. They didn't know what they were doing. Maybe. Right? Maybe.
Oh, Biggie, what you do? Oh, Biggie, come over here, puppy.
Yeah.
Let me see what you got.
Oh, baby, give me one more dick. Yeah.
Oh, he's like, you were so good on the show tonight. And they just slobbed it out. And they a pound turned into a hug, turned into like a little long back rub, and then
yeah. Then it turned into the long kiss goodnight. You know what I mean? In Biggie's words. Yeah, well, I just want to look into it though before yeah, it happened. But in one of the articles, down towards the bottom of it, it said something about like what the chick was like, yeah, LL Cool J was the first one I was with. It happened once, you know. So like I don't know. I just want to like make sure because there's a lot of those websites out there that want to do whatever they can to discredit people. So before I go and accuse Biggie of having and to me, it is what it is at the end of the day too. Like, hey Biggie, if that's what you and Puff like doing, you know, if Puffy and Biggie like to sit in the middle of a couch that's seated 4 people, put a transsexual woman on each side, and just fucking handle their scandal, that's on them. You know,
the picture Big and Puff rolling in like those old cars that have just one seat in the front, like the sofa.
Yeah,
but they're sitting next to each other. There's nobody in the passenger, and they're just sitting close. And then when they come to the hood, they separate. I like to picture that. That's what gets me in nice and wet.
But
Mr. C wig.
Yeah. So I heard it was Mr. C in the wig. Oh,
Mr.
that was
C
him.
was going deep cover.
What's your name? What's your size?
Stop. Because it's 1/8. It's what is it? It's trans head on an undercover cock.
Cock, yeah. No, cock. I got to turn the cock. Yeah. It's trans head from an undercover cock.
And it don't stop.
Yeah. So we'll see. Listen, there was a lot of funky shit going on with Biggie and Puffy. And we know now what Puffy is, right? So, like, listen, especially too, right? You got to think about it like this too. Puffy put Biggie on, right?
Oh, he owed him something.
Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, Puffy put him on. So maybe Biggie, you know, maybe.
Thank you, Puff. Thank you,
maybe
Puff.
he was influenced. Yeah.
Thank you, Puff. You really
yeah. I heard Biggie used to do ASMR on the tip of Puffy's dick, but I'm not sure. Like he used to just be like, ooh.
I heard when he said cheese, eggs, and Welch's grape, that was code for Puffy's cock.
Cheese, eggs, and Welch's grape. Oh man. So I don't know, bro. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. There was a lot of funky stuff going on with Diddy back in the day, you know, and I don't know, you know.
I refuse to let him take down my black folks, dude.
I'm a fan of Biggie. I'm definitely a Biggie guy. You know, he's not technically in my top 5, but he's like right there though. You know, he's right. He's close to it. You know,
top 5 trans are alive.
I'm putting him number 1 if this is true.
You have to move it up.
We play the transmission around here, so you know
we're gonna see Biggie in there one. We're gonna have to put Biggie and Puff in there one day. Try to mix them up.
You think we can get Biggie's ghost to do check the transmission with us?
Biggie's gonna come fucking to you tonight. He's gonna be hovering at the end of your bed in a wig.
I'm not saying he's not top 5 in general. It's just for me. But it kind of counterintuitive what I'm about to say. But I do have Big L kind of floating around my top 5 always, and he did die and only put out 2 albums. But Biggie was amazing for the couple albums he put out. But I don't know, man. If you know, but it's true though. If you stack up those albums, you know, basically 3 albums, because one was a double album.
Oh, I mean, kind of 3. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
I mean, if you wanted to, I'm just saying, like as far as tracks, right? So let's say there was 30 tracks or some shit total, right? As far as the album.
I think rap is the only one that does that. There's no other genre that would do that.
Double albums?
No. They would just do like.
No, I think it started with some rock
anybody
shit.
Would have less than like 4 or 5 albums and even be. I don't think there is there. I don't know. I don't know enough. Is Jimi Hendrix? How many albums did Jimi Hendrix have?
I wonder
if he had. He died so young. The Doors had like 3 or maybe. I think.
So what are you saying? You're saying that rap is the only one that you would dock them for only having 2, or it's the only one where you could have 2 and even be considered an all-time great?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, how can you get a sense of because it's kind of both ways. Where if you have less, it's easier to be great because there's not enough for you to a judgment to like judge your catalog. If you only have 16 songs on one record, if somebody goes, but that shit was. You know
what
a lot of people go 20 years and they have 1 classic album, and you're like, that's a classic album,
right? But that's where the argument goes with a situation like Biggie, right? It's like, so Biggie had 2 albums that were lights out classic, right? But then you might have other rappers that, yeah, they stayed alive and they had 10 albums, but only 2 were really good anyway. You know what I mean? So doesn't that make the argument for like if you have like extreme greatness in a short amount of time, it's okay to rank, you know, in a way? Because I look at it like Terrell Davis, right? I look at it like Kurt Warner, right? That's like who like Biggie is and like Big L. Pun, it's harder. You know, skill wise, there's not many people that were fucking with Pun. But with that being said, he only put out 1 album. That was really like he put the whole thing out. He recorded it in the studio too, put it out. Yeah, baby. Yeah, like he was alive. Like you remember in the beginning of that song, he was like, I'm alive. I just lost 200 pounds. And then and unfortunately he died like fucking.
Yeah. What was that? Capital Punishment?
No, Capital Punishment was the classic. Like that stacked up.
Is that the one with the I'm Not a Player?
Yes.
Which one had I'm Not a Player on there?
Capital I love my bitches, but where my WHiggaz? Yeah. Yeah. So it is hip hop's very young, yeah, for sure. But I hear what you're saying, though. It is hard to say, but I mean, in what other genre, though? But then there's the other argument, right? So you got a little bit of it with rock in like the 60s and 70s, right? Where like overdoses were happening and shit like that. But hip hop, more than any other genre, has people, you know, because of circumstances and environments that, you know, they have more people than any other genre that died before they could reach their full, you know, their full potential, you know? So it's like, do you not rank them because of that? Or do you say, oh, you know what, that was some, because those years Biggie was active and putting out those albums, there was nobody fucking with him except maybe Tupac, right? That was the only other solo artist that was like neck and neck doing like the damage he was doing as far as like music and cultural impact, you know? So I don't know. So you're saying you can't put Biggie top 5 because of him? Is that how you feel?
I mean, I don't personally, but I'm not saying you can't. You can put whatever you want in there. You can put Farside in there. You can put Dell in there.
Well, that might be a geographic thing. You see what you just did? You immediately said 2 very West Coast groups, right? So it might be Biggie didn't have...
Ready to Die is probably it. The album by itself is definitely one of the best hip hop albums all time. Definitely, I would say top. It might be in there for me because it's
Ready
from
to Die?
front to back. There's no fast forwards.
Yeah,
there's no fast forwards.
And Life After Death only had 2 or 3 that weren't perfect. You know what I mean? That was a fucking... And even the ones that weren't perfect, like play a hater, get on the floor, you've been robbed. Like that shit was like silly, but that shit was still dope for what it was. You know what I mean? So he did put out 2 like full fucking classics, bro. You know?
I mean, so. I was big on the East Coast rap when I was young, and I liked it. But I would have I liked I like the Sunrises in the East better than Biggie's second album.
Really?
I would like that. I like that album at the time. Okay. At the time, it was like
that's something we got to do though, because we've been talking about that. I think that's something we might hop in a session every once in a while too, and do like what we talked about, like look back on old hip hop albums, at least 15, 20, 30 years old, and see how they aged, right? Because there's a lot of what's that?
Listen to them.
Yeah, listen to the albums and see how they aged.
That's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard.
Why you say that?
Because it's gonna ruin. It's gonna ruin a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah. It definitely is, bro.
It's gonna ruin a lot of stuff because now you're a dad. Yeah. I mean, I don't listen to the rap like I used to.
And not even just that. You'll hear the things that you would like acknowledge as like deficiencies. You'll hear them now. Right, but listening to it then, it was just, oh, this is dope. But like now, if you listen to J. Rue the Damager, he has a lot of good songs. Yeah, Farside, Lab Camp in California is one of the best albums ever made, and Bizarre Ride to the Far Side.
Oh, Bizarre Ride was
was one of my. I played it. Oh shit, when he's talking about the mom pulling the titties out, like what did he say?
Pack the pipe. Yeah. And Pack the Pipe was like, come here, little man, with his little hand, like Pack the Pipe.
Classics, bro.
That shit was dope.
But most of the Far Side album, the Bizarre Ride to the Far Side wasn't that good. It had like 4 or 5 great songs. Lab Cab in California, though, they found the formula on that album. They had Jay Dilla production on that album, actually, early Jay Dilla and shit like that. But yeah. So I don't know. So we gotta see. We gotta look into this Biggie shit. But apparently, Biggie might have had the transsexuals in his video back in the day. And they like you said, though, they were trailblazers. You know what I mean? That was Puffy. He's like, Diddy was like, listen, Big, you gotta understand. We're ahead of the game here. You're gonna see the future. You know what I mean? You know, and Biggie didn't get to see it. He didn't get to see it.
Souls of Mischief. Yeah, I've been listening to catching up on some of their. I put on like a Spotify playlist.
Yeah, they have some good old shit. There's a couple classics.
They still
yeah.
It's like because I don't listen to a lot of like anything with a ton of murder music anymore. It's just not
the only type of shit I listen to that's in that vein. You have to be like a lyrical murder music, hip hop, like Mobb Deep. You can still listen to that because there's bars in it, right? It's not just like straight up only like violent. You know,
there are times when I'm working out or had a drink, and I will put on Warriors MOP.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it, you might as well put on the best there is for that energy.
My man Biggie. I don't know, man. Scary
Brooklyn,
out there.
Send them back home, Brooklyn.
Scary. It might be true. Bellin sent it to me today. I looked into. One burp on, one burp off. I looked into it a little bit, but it wouldn't surprise me with Diddy being the guy that put him on, damn near probably groomed him to a certain fucking degree. You know what I mean? Like Biggie was young too, right? Because Biggie and Pac both died by the time they were, 25, 26 in that age, right? So he was with Biggie.
You're saying that Puppy was like, you got to experience life, Big.
Maybe.
When he tried to push him away. I ain't with that. With that.
Right.
And then Puppy's like, you got to experience life, young man.
Right. If you want this 5 mil, Biggie, you got to get in between these legs.